Hey guys, it's Thursday, and we are running down to the White House real quick. We've got a Marine One departure in 30 minutes-ish. Then we're going to head over to Georgetown, grab some lunch, get some french fries. Maybe just get some french fries, not really get a lunch. And then we'll go explore, see what we can see. Sounds like a plan. So, we've got a helicopter landing in like 25, 30 minutes, not even that. We got a boogie. This way. This really is pretty fun to try to pedal this bike and keep moving around. What are these kids doing? So we had to pause for a moment to execute some repairs on the bike. Some of these bikes are pretty beat up. You gotta have like basic bicycle skills, like fixing a quick release and stuff like that, but we're moving again. Alrighty, up to the Vice President's house, which of course you won't see because of all the trees, but I assure you the house is there. Alright, the Vice President's place is up on the right. You might see it. I can see it briefly through the trees. Our favorite protester guy, he's yelling at the embassy right now. He's not waving to cars. So he's out here every day in front of the Vatican's embassy protesting child abuse by the church. There's the reason for traffic. The Vice President is leaving. Stop? No, they're gonna let us go. Yeah. Vice President is pulling out. So yeah, there was a little traffic jam, and that's the end of the motorcade. Wonder how fast they're going. You think I can keep up with them? That's up, and they're already down into Rock Creek. Well, we're not going to see them again. They'll get to the White House much faster than us. Yep, there's the last escort. Oh, wow. Downwind of a garbage truck and a porta potty. That was not the kind of breath of fresh air I was hoping for. All right, we're on Rock Creek Parkway. That's the northbound. The southbound is where the Vice President went, and they're cutting our way over to the White House. How's the Venezuelan ambassador's place? Oh, you guys complain about the White House grass being non-kept. Well, look at the Venezuelan ambassador's house. There's a real mess for you. Like, I think I hear a helicopter on the ground, but it could just as easily be a steam crane or a construction truck. And looking, I don't see a helicopter. I still hear the noise though. Maybe they went early. Maybe they're going later. Maybe they're driving. Oh, there it is. I see a helicopter. There is a helicopter on the ground over there. One. There are two helicopters on the ground. the national Christmas tree is gone. The dead Christmas tree that I've been pointing out the last few weeks has been removed, which is kind of surprising since it was technically a living tree. But now it is no more. It sleeps with the fishes. So today I brought my zoom lens so you can see the construction a little bit closer. There's some guys actually working there today, and there's some earth movers and there's a ton of plywood. They're redoing the plumbing and telecommunications as far as I've been able to tell, and it's going to take another 8 weeks or so. So over there is the White House and the South Lawn. As I've mentioned, there is construction going on. Took some video of the construction. You can see that it's pretty busy. So out here, though, is the Ellipse. This has become the helicopter landing zone for Marine One. Now, a lot of you watching my videos, because I usually film from over there, and I shoot over those cars, and you're like, why? Why, oh why, is the president landing in a parking lot? But I wanted to show you this little dot out here. The president isn't actually landing in a parking lot. The president is landing his helicopter right here. This is the target for Marine One. Marine One sets down basically on this dot. The president is brought by car from the Oval Office. There's those little cones is where they drop them off. And Marine One is out here. So it's a pretty good distance to the cars. It's a pretty good distance from the trees. And that is where the president's helicopter lands. So I mapped it out on Google. From that red dot to the Oval Office is about 1,200 feet, about a quarter of a mile. Now when I film over on 17th Street, which is about 550 feet. 1,200 feet isn't really that far of a walk, but much of that 1,200 feet would be outside of the White House security perimeter. And as such, the Secret Service is just not really interested in having the president walk exposed to the general public for that long. Hey, they are mowing it though. The National Park Service has finally gotten around to mowing the lawn. So down over there is West Executive Avenue. It's a road that used to connect this road, E Street, with Pennsylvania Avenue. But back about the time of Reagan, they closed it off and basically turned it into a parking lot. But West Executive Avenue is now where the president gets out of the Oval Office, the West Wing, and gets into his limos. It's basically completely impossible for anyone to see what's going on up there. You just can't see them get in and out of the limos. And I think that's on purpose. So, checking Lafayette Park. No real change. Still blocked off. Still completely inaccessible. Do it for the Instagram. So I ran into the YouTuber Mustang Medic, and I'm being a tour guide for him. He's never been to Georgetown, so running him around the Georgetown. But then I'll go make my own video. We can go back a bit. Go back here. So up here on the right, there's a guy who put up some artwork in front of his house, and the neighbors sued him, basically. Sued him? Yeah. Well, they didn't sue, but they filed a complaint. He's got to get rid of it. Yeah, because they're technically on city property by like a foot. This is Call Your Mother Bagels, this pink place. This is like a cult bagel place. This is actually on the top 10 bagels of America list. Biden came here after church once to grab bagels. They've got a couple branches in DC. Whoa. A little rough. Oh, you got it. He also has storage for the cruise.
That's cool. Wow.
So that was the first time you noticed it? Was
Yeah.
just like, but
And
it just.
I was like, how long has that been there?
That's insane. Yeah, it's hard to see close up.
Yeah, it is in there.
But if you go back out, then you can see it. It's really pretty in Georgetown sometimes. Until a car hits you. I think I just saw the Norwegian ambassador. I just saw Norway One, the bicycle. That Royal Norwegian bicycle I told you guys about. Some woman just rode by. She had kind of a tough as nails and, you know, Embassy of Norway kind of attitude. I don't know. It was either the ambassador or someone else. Now this big house up on the hill back there is known as Tudor Place. And it is now actually a historic mansion, but it was built around the 1800s or so by George Washington's step-granddaughter. For those of you who don't know, George Washington married a widow, Martha Washington, who had 4 children of her own. I think only 2 of them kind of survived into adulthood. One of those sons had a daughter who was also named Martha, and Martha married into a very wealthy business family in Washington, D.C., and they built the Tudor Place mansion, which was here at the time of the War of 1812, and one of the grand old homes of Washington. I wanted to stop at a smaller house in Georgetown, 3206 Q Street Northwest. This was the home of Colonel and Viola Drath, who was a Washington, D.C. socialite, journalist, and writer. She lived a life interviewing and mixing with artists and politicians and diplomats and was quite connected to the Washington social scene. Sadly, Colonel Drath passed away in 1986, leaving her widowed. But she was not alone for long. About 4 years later, she married a man who was 44 years her junior. Albrecht Muth, M-U-T-H, Muth, I guess that's how you would say it, quickly integrated himself into her social circle, and then things got even more strange. He created a story that he was part of German royalty and insisted on being called Count Albrecht. He then decided to start wearing the uniform of an Iraqi military officer and claimed to be a brigadier general in Iraq. And then the police were called, repeatedly, to the house for domestic violence. On August 11, 2011, at age 91, Viola Drath was found dead in an upstairs bathroom, and Albrecht Muth was arrested and convicted of her murder. He's still in prison today on a 50-year prison term. Now, I mention all this because in the next few months, you're going to see this story come to Hollywood. The new movie titled Georgetown, and starring Vanessa Redgrave and Annette Bening, will be released that tells a slightly fictionalized version of this story. As you watch the trailer, linked in the description below, you can look back at this house in Georgetown where it all took place.